There we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What the heck is going on this morning, my friends? Happy Friday. Is it Friday? It's kind of odd figuring out what day of the week it is when we had a holiday midweek. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Welcome to Men Up with Mike. My name is Mike Cameron, and I will be your host. And today we are going to talk a little bit about creating life-changing moments. And I'm going to share a couple of stories with you, some of the life-changing moments that I have had in my life. And we're going to talk a little bit about how do we get more intentional creating those life-changing moments rather than waiting for them to happen. Morning, bro. Anne, are you calling me bro? Good morning, Anne. How are you today, my friend? What is going on? Are we smiling yet this morning? Are we smiling? I feel like I need to do some juggling or something to get you smiling there, Anne. I appreciate you immensely, and I am glad you are here. Friends, if you are watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, drop me a note in the comments. Let me know you're here, or better yet, come on over to mikecameron.ca/live and join the chat. Good morning, Stacy. How are you? Good morning, bro. Good morning, bro. What is going on, Stacy? Where you're? I'm trying to remember. Timmins? Is that where you are? Shania Twain. That's what I think when I think of you. You know what? So this is a good story to open up as we wait for everybody to sort of hop on, talking about life-changing moments. When Michelle and I went to, hey, Mika, how are you? Michelle and I took a trip for my 50th birthday down to Costa Rica, where I competed in the Coastal Challenge. And on the way down there, we ran into some crazy cats in the airport lounge wearing some crazy costumes, and kind of invited ourselves over to have a beer with these folks because they just looked like they were having a lot of fun. Hey, good morning, Sean. How are you? And yeah, that was Stacy and his crew, and we've kept in touch ever since. So I am super, super thrilled to have made that connection, Stacy. One of these days we will get together again. I know you were out here a while back. We were supposed to do an Oilers game, but I think I kind of dropped the ball on that one. But anyways, talking about life-changing moments, creating life-changing moments. You know, it would have been easy for us in that moment to just sit back alone, do our thing. But instead, we actually went and created a moment. So again, today I want to talk a little bit about how we can be intentional about creating these life-changing moments. Excuse me. Yeah, Stacy, it's been fantastic to connect with you and watch you via social, see some of the things that you've been up to, and obviously stay connected this way as well. Hey, Brian, I hope you are watching this morning. I know Brian, I think, was one of the guys that had challenges getting on the mikecameron.ca/live site yesterday. It looks like I've got that remedied, so that if you're logged in, you can join in the chat over at mikecameron.ca. And again, would love to have you there, because we're doing some things over there. We're doing some things. If you missed it yesterday, I also posted a relationship video on how to better connect with your partner and give you an actual tool that you can use, that you can share with your partner. Hey, Brian, I'm glad to see you there, my friend. Thank you so much for joining the community officially. I know you've been a part of the community for a long time, but I appreciate you hopping on officially and signing in. So again, really appreciate that. But yeah, if you guys have a look at my latest blog post, or one of the latest blog posts, it is, if you want a deeper connection with your partner, share this, is the title of it. And I share the story of Michelle and I creating our little ritual that we call forehead time. And it's an incredibly powerful experience, and it's an incredibly powerful thing to share with your partner. So I invite you to do that. I'm creating these videos for you to share with your partners, where you maybe want some deeper connection and are not quite sure how to convey that message, how to ask that question. So my hope is that, and guys, especially for you, if you've got things that you would like to communicate with your partner and are struggling on how to do that, reach out. My hope is that I can create some videos that individuals can share with their partner in order to articulate messages that sometimes we have a hard time articulating. Maybe it's uncomfortable, maybe it's challenging, maybe we just don't have the words how to articulate what we want. So I'm going to start producing a series around relationships that you can share with your partner. Anyways, coming back to creating life-changing moments, well, there's another example. So you want to create a life-changing moment? Share that video with your partner. There you go. There's your challenge for the day. There's your opportunity for the day. Share that video with your partner and see what that does for your relationship. I can pretty much guarantee you it will do nothing but enhance and create life-changing moments for you and your partner. So let's clarify. When I talk about life-changing moments, I'm going to share with you the story of one of the major life-changing moments in my life and how I responded to that, how I reacted to that, and in fact, how I created that. But life-changing moments don't have to be big things. Sorry, I'm reading comments. These life-changing moments don't have to be big things. They can be the smallest of things. Again, we talk about this often. Even a 1-degree change in course over time ends up being a very large shift. So these life-changing moments don't have to be massive. They don't have to be monumental. But you do have to pay attention for them. You do have to be intentional about creating them. So today I want to share a story with you about one of the life-changing moments in my life back in February of 2012. And I will never forget this. It's funny. I realized recently that I haven't really shared this story a whole lot. It's in the book. I believe it's in the book. So if you haven't had a chance to pick up my book, that I would appreciate as well. I'm going to throw these sales pitches in every once in a while, so get used to it. Speaking of which, Make Beautiful Shit Happen t-shirts are available on the site as well. All right, back to my story. February of 2012, I found myself on a beach in Jamaica. Life was fantastic. I was at an executive retreat in February, where the weather in Edmonton, Alberta is usually somewhere in the -20s. So getting out of Dodge and getting down to a tropical destination is always high on my list of things I would like to do. And in fact, this had been the 6th year running that I had been invited to go on these retreats. Now, these were retreats. These were reward incentive retreats that only the top 20 or 30 individuals got to go on. And like I said, I was at the pinnacle of my game from a business standpoint, getting invited on these incredible executive retreats. I've still got one of my, we stayed at the Ritz. Again, I don't want to make this sound like I'm boasting. It was an amazing time. I still have one of the Ritz-Carlton bathrobes that our host gave us when we were down in, I think it was a Grand Cayman. Anyways, February of 2012, I was down at one of these retreats. We had a little bit of work time. I think it was just enough work time to be able to write it off. and the rest, there was a fair bit of leisure and celebration time. So it was a pretty amazing trip. And I remember sitting on the beach in my lounger, the wait staff serving margaritas. I had my book in my hand, and I was reading and relaxing and sipping a margarita and just reflecting on how phenomenal things were, or maybe more so, how phenomenal things should have been. And then as I sat there, I watched this couple, probably in their mid 60s, maybe late 60s even, walking down the beach hand in hand, smiling, laughing, sharing a story, sharing a moment. And I remember watching that thinking, that is exactly what I want my life to look like at that age. I was in my early 40s at the time, early to mid 40s at the time. And I thought, you know what? In 20 plus years from now, this is exactly what I want my life to look like. I want to be walking hand in hand on the beach with the woman I love. And then it hit me. The way my current relationship was, the way my current marriage was, that was never going to happen. That just was not going to happen the way that I wanted it to unfold. Given the current trajectory that we were on, that my wife at the time and I were on, there's just no way in hell that 20 years from then we were going to end up walking hand in hand on the beach. I mean, we probably would have ended up taking separate vacations. And I don't know if it was right then and there on the beach, or if it was on the plane on the way home, or somewhere in between. But somewhere in that period of time, I made a very intentional decision. I decided to create a life-changing moment. I decided that the status quo for me wasn't enough. It wasn't what I was willing to accept anymore. Frankly, I'd been living like a roommate with my partner, with my wife for, 7 years or more, maybe, or more. And I just made the decision that, you know what, it's time to change that up. And I got home and I started to push things a little bit. And I put in an effort. At least I believe I did. I'm not sure my ex-wife would tell you the same. But I started making a decision that, you know what, either you're in or you're out, Mike. One way or the other, you got to make this happen. And so I started pushing things a little bit. I insisted that we go see a counselor. And that was something that she had not been interested in doing before, was worried about the cost of it, that kind of thing. But I pushed it. I insisted that we go. And sadly, the more we went to see the counselor, the more apparent it became that we were too far gone. We had drifted too far apart, that there wasn't room for repair there. And it was heartbreaking at the time. Again, I was a guy that grew up in a household where marriage was sacred. My parents have been married for, 55 years, something like that. And so when I realized that what I was looking for wasn't what I had, it was heartbreaking. But I made that choice. See, that's the thing that is important to recognize, is that we have a choice. When these moments come up, when we recognize these potential life-changing moments, maybe that's the first part. We need to actively look for them. We need to actively be ready to recognize these potentially life-changing moments and make choices based on those. So, again, I could have, sorry, I'm I'm getting comments pop up from yesterday, I think. So that's kind of interesting. Anyways, I could have just ignored it. I could have carried on my life. I could have carried on the roommate trajectory. But I actively decided that that wasn't what I wanted, it wasn't enough for me. And again, not to say that I wasn't at fault for the way that my current relationship was, that it was somebody else's fault. That's not the case at all. It was, absolutely 100% my responsibility. But by the same token, it was also my responsibility to take the initiative and make some changes. When something's got to change, maybe it's you. And so I did. So creating those life-changing moments, making those decisions, making those choices to put yourself in a position that can allow you to have those life-changing events is critical. And we've got the opportunity to do that every single day. I think I've said this before on here. I certainly say it a lot in conversation, but one of the things that I've done this year in particular has been very intentional with the conversations that I have. And when I show up for a conversation, I show up with the intent to make that conversation life-changing, whether it's life-changing for me or the person on the other end of the equation, the other end of the conversation. I have the choice to show up with the intention to make this a life-changing conversation. And what I do with that conversation, how I show up in that conversation, how I show up in that moment dictates whether or not I'm successful in creating that life-changing moment. And we've all got the opportunity to do that. It's all about the choice. It's all about making that fucking decision. So where can you create life-changing moments? I sent that out in my newsletter this last week. I shared this story and I invited people to create a life-changing moment by signing up for my 4-week workshop. Again, I think any of the guys that have done it and continue to do it will tell you that that was absolutely a life-changing moment for them when they decided to invest in themselves and sign up for that workshop and what has now become an ongoing coaching program. Absolutely life-changing, game changer. It's been life-changing for me as well. It's been absolutely incredible. And are you not on my newsletter? I will add you to the newsletter. I will add you to my newsletter. If you're watching on mikecameron.ca/live, I don't know if you're seeing, but I think some of Michelle's comments that are coming up are from yesterday. So I don't know. And I will absolutely add you to the newsletter for sure. I believe there is a spot on the website, although I revamped the website recently, so maybe they missed where that newsletter subscription is. But if you're interested, shoot me an email, mike@mikecameron.ca, and I will add you to my newsletter, which I, again, will send out updates and things and share some stories and some lessons. But I'm happy to connect with you guys here too. This is a fantastic way for us to stay in touch. So yeah, again, my challenge question for you today is, where can you find a life-changing moment right here, right now, today? What are you no longer willing to accept in your life? What do you want more of in your life? Where can you make a decision that will change your life? Maybe that's a decision to start journaling. Maybe it's a decision to start a yoga program. Maybe it's a decision to pick up the phone and call a long lost friend and have that conversation. Maybe it's a decision to give your partner an extra 10 seconds of hug this morning. There are all kinds of ways that we can create life-changing moments. I would love to hear from you. What are some ways that you can create life-changing moments? How can you actively create life-changing moments? It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. Honestly, it can be as simple as actively listening to the person standing right in front of you. That can be life-changing. That could be life-changing for you. That could be life-changing for them. So yeah, I want to know, where can you create life-changing moments? All right, I'm going to go back to the comments. Anne says we still need emojis over on the live site. I know. I'll poke the developers and see if they can add emojis. I don't know if they can or not. But yeah, drop me in on the comments. Let me know, what can you do today to create a life-changing moment for yourself or for someone else? Where can you become a more active participant in your life? How can you more fully show up? All right, my friend. That's it for today. As always, continue to make beautiful shit happen and have yourself a fantastic day. Mika says, I want to spend more time with the people that lift me up. Life gets busy and I don't make time for them, even though they greatly improve my life. All right, Mika, here's your challenge. Pick up the phone, send a text, send an email. Who are one of those people that you haven't talked to in a while? Who are one of those people that you should be reaching out to that you haven't? All right, my friends. I'm going to sit and watch your comments because there's a bit of a lag. So I'm going to sip on my coffee and see if you guys want to talk. All right, my friends. Mika, good luck. Have a great day. Take care.